Well, I mean, ultimately, nobody knows you as an artist more than you do, so you should have a general idea about what type of packaging you want to place your CD in, what the end purpose is supposed to be for the disc. A lot of people make discs for different reasons. A lot of people go into it thinking, okay, I'm making this CD, and I never intend on doing anything else with it other than selling it at live performances. Some people have a broader idea about that. They plan on doing that, but also, getting it in a retail environment, actually going after distribution on their own, or maybe they've got a distribution angle through some sort of indie label licensing or something along those lines. So having an idea about what type of packaging and how you want to present yourself is a good thing to figure out before you even step through the door or even talk to me on the phone. Obviously, if that's not, if you're a first timer, you've never done this before, maybe that's not something you're going to be able to do on your own. Maybe you need our help to kind of help figure that out. That's kind of what we're here for. Ultimately, it's not our release, so we're not going to make the final decision for you, but we can definitely present some ideas and have a conversation and come to a conclusion about what's going to work best for you based on what your end result is supposed to be. I mean, Disc Makers does just about everything it takes to release a disc, except for recording and photography. I mean, we can do art layout, we can do mastering, we offer a wide variety of merchandise, online distribution. I mean, a lot of periphery stuff that isn't just the discs. So, and we do, the fact that we do graphic design means that I have people walk through the door with their information written out on notebook paper, a couple of photos, their recording master, and no idea about what they want to do. They've never done it before. They need some guidance. They've got the essential ingredients, but they don't know how to bake the cake. So, that's kind of what we do. I mean, yes, you've got people who walk through the door who've, I've got clients who've been working with me since I've been doing this, which I started with Disc Makers in 1999. So, and those folks don't need a lot of coaching. I mean, I've got guys who send me an email, give me a quote on this, same thing as last time. I'll have your materials to you tomorrow. Here's my credit card number. Bam. Done deal. They know what they're doing. They've done it before. It's cookie cutter stuff for them. There's no surprises anymore. But for somebody who's a first timer who needs that kind of help from the ground up, then that's when we have a conversation about it. Okay. And as far as the design goes, I mean, those are the two basic elements: the recording and the packaging. And the graphic design is what dictates what the packaging is going to be. So, I have this conversation on a daily basis. There's three kinds of people when it comes to us doing graphic design. There's the guys like I just mentioned that walk in with it written out on a piece of notebook paper and a handful of photos and no idea at all. And then there's the folks that absolutely want you to follow their instructions to the letter. And basically it's not even graphic design, it's just assembly. It's still got to be laid out so that it can be reproduced properly, but it's essentially just assembly work. They want it followed to the letter. And 95% of the people that I deal with fall in the middle. They've got a general idea. They may have seen a package by an artist that's in a similar genre as them, or maybe even way outside of the box, but they liked the overall concept, the direction it was going in, the color scheme, the font. That's another thing that's really valuable if you're doing design for somebody is, if they've got some general ideas about what direction they'd like their artwork to go in, to provide examples or, basically not even necessarily a mock-up, but at least some general ideas about, color concept, font style, the overall feel of what they're looking for. We actually have a document called a design information guide that sort of, asks some key questions to sort of pick the person's brain, make them think outside of the box as far as what, maybe ask them some questions that they hadn't even really considered. What genre of music is it? Who's your target market? I mean, are you going for the teeny bopper crowd? Or are you going for a broader spectrum of, 18 to 34-year-olds. I mean, who are you trying to reach with this disc? What style of music is it? Is it, something that you can quantify as like pop or rock or country, or is it, in your mind, something that's a little bit of everything? And that's definitely helpful. And then, I say break it down in it. Once you've decided on your packaging, once you've got a general idea on your art concept, then really the last thing that we don't do is we don't write copy. I mean, we're not going to write your bio for you. We're not going to, we're not going to spell correct anything because we don't know. I mean, if your bass player's last name is Krasansky, we don't know how that's spelled. So, I mean, ultimately your copy is up to you. Where it's placed, that, and how it's, the font that's used, the font size, the color, that kind of thing, that's stuff that we can manipulate. So the best way to really provide things is provide us with good images. A lot of people, JPEG is a really common image, but it's really the least desirable format to provide a photo image. High-res PDF or EPS. If you've got access to Photoshop, a TIFF image is really desirable. And make sure that your photo images are actually, at a normal size. Because if you bring me a thumbnail that's at 300 dpi and I have to increase it to, 4 3/4, you take a small image that's high-res and enlarge it, then you're losing resolution and you're going to get a less desirable result. So, and as far as the text goes, real easy. Provide it to us in a Word document. Makes it easy for us to copy, paste, manipulate, change the font. Definitely, I mean, it's not that you can't bring it in written out on a piece of notebook paper. That means somebody's going to have to go and retype it. And that's going to slow down your turnaround time to the first proof that you're going to get. And then it's a process, based on your notes and the freedom that you've given us to add creativity to it. And we're going to put together the proof, we're going to send it to you, and then we go from there. What looks good to you, what doesn't look good? Are we in the right direction? Are we completely off the page? And once you're finally satisfied and happy with the way it looks, then that's pretty much all there is to it. And if we're doing mastering, that can happen in conjunction with the graphic design, because it's essentially two different departments for us. Once those two elements are done, there's nothing left to do but make the discs.